The movie that this teased at the beginning is not the movie it delivers. Like, this is a by-the-numbers renegade cop movie for the first 10 minutes of this.
Right. Case for those of you who haven't seen it. There is a scene is of interest to his ladies. He takes them to the beach and he plays the sax.
No, is that all I have to look forward to in this movie? Is that the highest of highs with this movie? And it kind of is. Oh. Because Gary Busey fake playing a saxophone on a beach is amazing.
Yeah, was that a thing? I guess maybe that was an 80s thing where if you were feeling sexy, you were saxy.
That opening too.
Lots of sax.
All right, let's do it. We have to talk about this.
I mean, we are talking about it. We're dancing with it.
So here's what I'm gonna do, Jamie.
Yeah.
I am going to tell you and the audience what I think is happening.
Okay.
And I'm going to be completely honest, this is not a joke.
There you have it.
There is some sort of paramilitary group in Mexico that the U.S. government is very worried about. But they can't justify going in and just murdering these people. So the plan is to take this super top secret weapon in and have them capture it. And then that would give them reason to go in and to murder everyone.
So they want the weapon to be captured by the bad guys.
Yes.
And that's why she's like, this was a setup. But I thought it was a setup then. But then the murder.
These are all the questions I have, but go ahead.
And soon we learn that any enemy of the United States now is apparently getting together in Mexico.
Wow. I do like the fact that he climbs into the window and doesn't take more than 5 steps until one guy's like, hey, what's happening up there? Who's that guy trying to sneak in?
But Gary or what's his name, McBain, he's a sharpshooter, and boy, can he avoid a bullet sometimes.
And then immediately everybody else turns around and somebody yells, it's McBain. And I was like, he's a famous cop? Oh my God. Everyone in Mexico knows about him.
He's infamous, one would
Your
say.
worst nightmare, Butthorn. He says Butthorn 3 times in this movie.
He does. And then the first 2 times I was like, is he saying butthole? What is he saying? And then I repeat it. It's Butthorn. Yeah. It is butt and then horn.
You know that he was just supposed to say asshole, but that's something Gary brought to the set.
Gary's like, we're
and
changing
he's like,
that.
I want to do Butthorn. It's like, we got to get this movie done. Do it, whatever you want to say.
Whatever you need to say. Whatever you need to say, Gary.
Gary, listen, I understand we didn't have drones at this point. Like, why they need Gary Busey to do all of this?
Because he's a one-man show. They don't have to get a whole bunch of other people. What, that Busey guy? Have they ever acted together? I doubtful.
Sam Elliott would not stand for that.
No. Oh, I wish it was Sam Elliott playing Bullet Proof. That would be
great. Because at least if he, like, moseyed in
with
and
that
just
mustache,
killed people. Yeah, I'd be like, this is believable.
Right.
Like, Gary Busey stumbling around, like, tripping over his own teeth. It just doesn't.
Busey's big old teeth. There's 2 first. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, take that, you stupid Arabs. Like, it's 5/8 through this movie now, and this comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're right. It is for kind of a, hey, yeah.
So they take Gary Busey to a warehouse.
Well, isn't he laying first? And is he laying down in bed and having a breeze come by, or was that how the other flashback started?
This gas station, I guess.
Yeah. He's waiting to get set off on the mission, and he's just got the window open and the curtains blowing, and he's daydreaming about days gone by.
But hold on, before we go to the flashback, and I think this is why this is the particular flashback, and this is what was so exciting to me. We started his feet in bed, and the camera pans up to show a saxophone lying on his chest as if he had just finished playing it. And now he thinks about other times in his life that he played the saxophone.
And then we see that girl, the military girl, walking on the beach. He's not even with her at first. He's just sitting off to the side. He's just sitting off to the side at the beach playing the saxophone, and then we realize it is for her because she comes. The whole thing is confusing. Like, who are the enemies? Who's his real love interest? Who's he playing the saxophone for?
It is so great. It's so great, and he's really like, because you even see his cheeks moving, so he's really trying to fake play the saxophone. The saxophone flashback morphs into the tease of a sex scene flashback now with the blonde woman.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That doesn't,
But it's,
yeah,
that
I don't. And then a giant Tron tank pulls up.
Thunder blast. know how to operate it. But I'll tell you the inside. Now, I haven't had much experience in a tank, and we don't see the inside of this tank until the end.
No,
But-
okay. What experience have you had in a tank? It's not much. Is it a little bit? Like, was it like a few hours of training?
You know, my tank days are,
They're behind
they're
you.
private. They're private. And even though I love my listeners, I can't share.
No, I understand. There are some things that we shouldn't know, that our listeners should not know about.
Right.
They should not know that I'm
Yeah.
so interested in Gary Busey sex.
But oh boy, do we.
Red lights, so I guess we're in a plane, and now he's in Mexico.
Yeah. And they hook him up in Mexico with a kind of these two assistants. Gary doesn't even pretend he speaks Spanish. He says hola, maybe, and he calls them amigos.
Hola is Gary Busey's only Spanish that he knows, because he says hola to people whether he is befriending them or just about to murder
Or
them.
about to murder them, right?
Jolting and conking out, and then finally
I'm
he just
assuming
stops
it's a
and he
stick
gets out.
shift. He's not used to stick. I'm not sure.
Maybe not the best man for this job. Maybe not the best man to drive an experimental weapon back from Mexico if he can't speak Spanish or drive stick.
He's the guy. He's the one man for the show. Well,
And-
she's been held prisoner in a church
Right.
with her other sergeant friend and a couple of nuns and a priest.
Yep.
I like when they're like, "Who is this bulletproof?" Now they're
It's like
being
their
held
hideout.
hostage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wish the priest was like, I have heard of Bulletproof. He's the only person who doesn't know who Bulletproof is.
In the bedroom, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be. I mean, I've already had sex with Gary Busey, so
Quite that
it's
far
not.
down.
Yeah. Plus the partner of Busey, which looked too old for her, in my opinion, but I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah, this woman's having a bad run.
Yeah,
That's what I'm gonna
yeah.
say.
She needs to set better boundaries. That's how he does.
Dudes in Mexico, one turns out to be a traitor immediately.
Oh, yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
one
the
right
guy's
away.
nephew or something.
Yeah, he lets the rest of the crew know that Bulletproof is here. Some American gringo, they call him a Yankee, I think, a bunch of times. Because that's a term.
And
that they're-
immediately, everyone, whether you are from the Middle East or Mexico, everyone goes, Bulletproof?
Yeah.
Bulletproof? Bulletproof? Bulletproof's here? Oh my God, Bulletproof. I
Yeah.
haven't heard of Bulletproof in a long time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that is what's happening down here in Mexico.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And this is when they decide that this is almost a James Bond movie, so they're going to tie him to a giant spool. It's like one of those spools that they put wire around
Yeah.
when they're like working
Yeah.
on telephone lines.
Well-
and be like, oh, the main
Yeah,
threat.
what information did they need from him?
They don't need
Anything.
Your male love interest here,
Right.
this super hunk. So now you have to help us.
Give him anymore. It's not a big
He's
deal.
like, you see who that is, right?
yeah.
Gary Busey. I already had sex with that guy. Like, I put him at the top of a hill, and she's like, I guess then you might roll down the hill.
I don't know, but that's her plan, to let the grenade go down. And
There's some great, like, ADR, too, when this
of him
real...
going, "Ugh, ooh."
Yeah, with him going, damn it.
Yeah.
Because then he gets up and tries to run away, and he keeps falling over like he's super dizzy.
He's got the spins. He's got the spins. Yeah.
And he, like I said earlier, just walks out of a couple of trees and murders everyone around. And now there are Russians because Henry Silva's not dead.
Yeah.
He's got the detonator, and he's like, haha, and he starts the detonator, and she runs him over. And he is crushed in such a way where his hand and the detonator are sticking out from under the thing. So she's able to push a button and stop it from
Yeah.
blowing up. Yeah. Yeah, they were at
It's
the border.
funny. Yeah.
And this guy walks up to these two stoners and is like, you have anything to declare? And they're like, just driving through, dude. And he's like, all right, be on your way, man. Nothing suspect about this. And then a giant Tron tank pulls up, and Gary Busey laughs, or I don't know, has
Kind
one
of gives
dumb
him like
line.
the hey, hey, hey. Like the wink and the gut, like, yay, we're good. Well, he knows too. It's bulletproof. I have to tell you, this movie, Busey's Red Sonja.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's fair to say that neither one of us were thrilled with it. I was bored by it.
We have watched really bad movies, and we've watched movies that I think are probably worse than this one movie. But like you said, sort of the nostalgia factor. Maybe
Right.
this is something that I know about little kids. They love Gary Busey.
He's got a real Ladies and kids. That's
Yeah.
who really Busey fans.